Like, has human beings not disappointed you enough to know that human being cannot make you happy? Like, you sit and you are expecting another human being to make you happy. Oh God, like if I do that, I'll be the most miserable person on earth. I do not expect anything from any human being to make me happy. I cannot put that huge burden of expectation on somebody, not even my husband. My happiness depends on me. So I always tell my husband that I can't expect you to make me happy, because if I'm expecting you to make me happy, I'm so hard to please. I intentionally disengage selfish expectation from others so I'm able to appreciate what others do for me. So I make myself happy. Have you ever seen two people who really love the Lord? They go to church all the time, they pray, they fast every day, their tongue speaking, but their marriage is challenging them. Hello everyone, welcome to Consistent Place channel. I am a Christian wife, mom, nurse and coach, and in today's video we are going to be dripping some nuggets. So I want us to see in this video the difference between marriage between two Christians and a Christ-centered marriage. Keep in mind, a lot of marriages between Christians are not Christ-centered marriage. As I was working on this video, I asked my husband what he thinks about two Christians who are married and are having severe marital crisis, and he told me to include in my video that these Christians weaponize the Bible against each other and manipulate the word of God to fit their selfish motives. And he said this should be the first point, because you find the husband coercing the wife to oppression with the verse about submission. Then the wife, on the other hand, is attempting to hijack affection and love from the husband, utilizing the verse about Christ loves the church. And they also do physical battles with the word of God, which is so sad and is not working for their good. The next difference is that in a marriage between two Christians, Jesus is valued in their home and they are fans of Jesus, which means that Jesus is one of their options and they choose him when they decide to. Meanwhile, in a Christ-centered marriage, Jesus is Lord and they are followers of Jesus. And even if Jesus leads them to still waters or through the valley of the shadow of death, they will follow. Number two, in a marriage between two Christians, they itemize their problems against their spouse and they launch carnal battles. They claim that marriage is not spiritual, that marriage is carnal. They see that problems emanate from the insufficiency of the opposite spouse, like you did not get a good background, you did not get a good upbringing, you lack this talent, you lack this quality, you lack this qualification, you didn't have a role model of a father, you didn't have a role model of a mother, you didn't grow up as a Christian, your church didn't teach you right, you don't understand this and you don't understand that. If you could only step up a little. So they itemize those problems against each other and they think that the other person has to fix themselves so that their marriage would work. Meanwhile, in a Christ-centered marriage, both spouses identify their problems as an attack from the adversary, who is roaming around like a roaring lion looking for whom to devour, and they fight their battles with spiritual weapons. They do not wrestle against flesh and blood. They do not wrestle against others' power. They wrestle against principalities and powers, spiritual wickedness in high places, forces of darkness. They understand that it is an attack for them. Wherever it came in through, either through the other spouse or through them, it is an attack of their relationship, and they jointly fight out that attack. The third difference is that in a marriage between two Christians, marriage is a contract, which means here that it is based on mutual distrust. Like they distrust each other enough to operate on conditional love, which means there are options for outlet just in case. You know, just in case he doesn't love me, I'm not going to submit. Or I will love her if she submits to me. Just in case she doesn't submit to me, she will see my true colors. That's a contract marriage. And when you have that distrust already in you, everything is conditional. You are always watching for what's the next mistake the other person does so that you can show them your true color. That's why you have a challenge between two tongue-speaking, church-going, night-praying, fasting Christians. Meanwhile, on the other side, in a Christ-centered marriage, marriage is based on a covenant. And a covenant is based on mutual commitment, which means that love is unconditional and there is no exit door. We are all there to mutually submit, irrespective whether they love us or not. We are all there to mutually love, irrespective of whether they submit or respect us or not. It is not based on what they are doing. It is based on what the assignment I am here to deliver. That is a Christ-centered marriage.
You deliver your role in your marriage as a diplomat assigned from heaven on a mission in your marriage, irrespective of how your spouse responds.
You keep making your move when the other spouse is not making a move. Guess what? Those principles will align the other spouse to you. The fourth challenge is that marriage between two Christians, the spouse is demanding their happiness from the other spouse. This thing keeps marveling me, because the way I see myself, guys, tell me, how do you do it? How do you expect somebody to make you happy? Like, has human beings not disappointed you enough to know that human being cannot make you happy? Like, you sit and you are expecting another human being to make you happy. Oh God, like if I do that, I'll be the most miserable person on earth. I do not expect anything from any human being to make me happy, because I've gotten enough of disappointments that have already put me in a space where my happiness depends on me. So I always tell my husband that I can't expect you to make me happy, because if I'm expecting you to make me happy, I'm so hard to please. You can't make me happy. Like, I'm so hard to please. Like, you will not meet expectation. You will never meet expectation. So I make myself happy, and by the time you bring in happy vibes, even if that other party was not making themselves happy, they will align with your happiness. And think about it for a minute. If you're making yourself happy and your spouse too is making themselves happy, when two of you come together, whoo, it's gonna be celebration, jubilation. It's gonna be hallelujah, amen. Two Christians are married. The wife thinks that he has to love me so that I'm happy. He has to be affectionate. I'm unhappy because he didn't do this to me. Whew. I have bad news for you. You expect that till thy kingdom come. Yes. You will never have. It's very hard for somebody to make you happy. By the time you stand on your 2 feet and decide to make yourself happy. But the thing is that people always end up understanding that the other person cannot make them happy when they're already deciding to divorce. They divorce and say, well, I'm going to make myself happy. But the thing is, sit there and make yourself happy. You say, I'm going to make myself happy. I'm going to become a better version of myself. Yes, that's exactly what you were supposed to be doing, becoming a better version of yourself. There, you cannot let anybody make me happy, because they'll piss me off. I'm hard to please, and I know that. So how do people expect somebody to make them happy? It's only Jesus Christ. The real peace comes from the Lord, and you are the one to go after that peace. Somebody cannot give you that peace. It is true that when two of you come together and vibe along, food is pleasant. But it is not determinant on the other person solely that you see somebody has to come and serve you happiness in a tree. It doesn't work like that. Meanwhile, on the other side, a Christ-centered marriage, the spouse creates a joyful environment and is committed to make the other spouse happy. And when you disconnect expectations and the other person serves you happiness, you are going to receive it with gratitude. But when you start to expect happiness, that is why you never have it. The people I work with in my coaching program, we always realize that people are not happy because they expect their spouse to meet up a certain standards. That is exactly why you are not happy. They cannot meet the standards you set. And sometimes those standards, the spouse does not even know what those standards are. Those expectations are within you, and they have no idea, no clue what your standards are. By the time you dissociate those standards, those expectations, and you start working, whatever they will bring, you recognize it. You know that this person is actually serving me their version of happiness, and you actually recognize it as happiness. So a Christ-centered spouse do not expect the other spouse to do anything for them, but they by themselves offer it to the other spouse. And the last part is that the difference between a happy marriage and an unhappy marriage is that they both have challenges, they both have storms.
The same challenge that would damage a marriage between two Christians will strengthen a marriage that is Christ-centered. It is also important to note that happiness is the byproduct of work put into your marriage. In a Christ-centered marriage, the spouses have a spiritual approach to their marriage, which yields the fruits of the Spirit, which are love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Meanwhile, the marriage between two Christians, they consider their marriage as something carnal. and are expecting the fruits of the Spirit from a carnal marriage. I'm not sure how that works. Even if your spouse doesn't have a spiritual approach to marriage, your spiritual approach will produce the fruits of the Spirit, which will make you happy and also positively affect your marriage. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. Download your free gift at the description section. Thank you, and see you in our next video.